A special episode of Earn Your Leisure.
1000%.
Yes. So we're not even gonna waste any time. I know you probably heard a lot of stuff on social media about Slutty Vegan, Pinky Cole, and you know, Earn Your Leisure. We had to get the real in-depth vibe of what's really going on.
It was only right.
Yeah, for sure. So this is a teachable moment, I feel like, for our community. Pinky, somebody that we've seen rise. I feel like, you know, a lot of people have seen your journey, right? And they've learned from your journey, from business to family, being a mother, being a wife, but everything, there's trials and tribulations, right? So there's some stuff that we did not know, as far as, I know you got into a car accident, glad that you're doing well. And then you had an issue where you lost a certain part of the company and you had to buy it back. So, all right, we're gonna jump right into it. So, okay. Like I said, we can go right to it. You're a familiar face at this point, so everybody knows you.
It's a three-peat.
That's a
This
fact.
is the three-peat.
So, okay, so we saw on social media that you put a post up. I think you did an article with people, and you said that, you know, I'm the new owner of Slutty Vegan 2.0. I was telling you, I was reading the comments. A lot of people thought it was an April Fool's joke.
Yeah, because people don't read.
Well, that's
true.
That's
true.
People don't
I'll
read.
be honest.
First thing.
At first glance, I was a bit confused, and then I swiped, and I was like, "Oh, I get it."
Yeah, so some people thought it was an April Fool's joke. Some people thought it was just a publicity stunt. Some people actually thought that you were serious, but still didn't understand fully. So, okay.
Nah, don't. Then the Maury thing came, and I was like,
Well, that's why they thought. That's why they thought
"Exactly."
April Fool's joke. Okay, so what happened?
Well, first of all, it's interesting because I want this episode to be a true educational episode for people. I want when they walk away from watching this, they've learned so much. They have a different perspective on what entrepreneurship really is. Because oftentimes people see the lights, they see the flowers, they see the accolades, they see the accomplishments, but they don't see those sleepless nights. They don't see when you have to make difficult decisions on how to maneuver and navigate through your business. And I want to be able to show all sides of that, because I feel like when entrepreneurs have range, that is what makes them able to go in a room and dominate. And I just like to consider this whole experience now, when I look at it, hindsight 2020, as an opportunity to add more to my resume of range so that I can be able to inspire other people. So let me take you back. Y'all know I had this company since 2018. And Slutty Vegan has done a lot. We have grown tremendously fast. We have gotten a lot of accomplishments. I've graced the cover of Essence Magazine, Inc. Magazine, made the Time 100 list, all the Bloomberg lists, all the Every Bitch Ebony Power 100, Headline InvestFest. Everything that you think of, we have done it. There's nothing that I have not done. I have crossed off every single list, right? And we have done a lot of great things over the years. So I had a really strong 6.5-year run, just as far as marketing, media, press, publicity, right? And you know, when you think about restaurants have like a shelf life of about 2 years, right? And once you get into that third year, it usually gets a little rocky. But fortunately for me, I built something that the world knows, loves, and appreciates. So y'all know I went off and I had kids. I had a baby in 21, 22, and 23. So while I was focused on being the mascot and the face of the brand and doing brand partnerships and doing the things that I love, because as an entrepreneur, there's a point in your professional career where you have to dominate in the spaces where you do well in domination. You understand what I'm saying? So I did that. And we did a raise. We raised money to grow the business. We grew up to 14 locations. And that was great, right? Like, we did a lot of great things.
$100 million, right?
Valued at $100 million. We got $25 million.
And for 25%.
Yes. And the company got valued at $100 million, right? So we've always made money. Money has always been good. That was never the issue. But what happened is our overhead got higher than the money that we were bringing in, right? So, you know, there's some businesses that have like $100,000 bills a month. Our bills were like $1 million a month. upwards to, right?
For all the locations.
For all the locations. So when you're growing really, really fast and you got this really good thing and everybody's coming off, you get sold a lot of stuff, right? So like there's software, there's technology, there's all of these things. So the leadership is just bringing all of this stuff in, right? And it works for what we have going on because AI is the future. All of these technology is the future. But what we didn't realize is up under the hood was suffering. Right. So back in 2023, we realized that like, OK, we got a problem. And the problem isn't today. The problem is in the future. And we got to figure it out.
This is like future guidance.
This is future guidance. Right. And again, revenue still coming in. Bringing in money is not the problem and has never been the problem.
Overhead,
it's the overhead. And I've always been public about that. Right. So I talked about how my corporate overhead was $10 million. And that is high for a business of my size. Right. But again, I ain't never grown a company before. And I stepped outside of the business temporarily to have kids and be a mom and do these things and do the marketing. But neither here nor there, this is where we are. So in 2024, I came back in the company and I let go of the whole C-suite. And I came back in the company January 2024, and I'm literally like boots on the ground, no pun intended.
So you fired everybody?
Yeah.
Everybody got
because you felt that they were getting paid too much, or that they was doing
it was a combination of a lot of things, right? But overarching, like when a ship is sinking, you got to be able to start patching holes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And those people, probably in hindsight, you're thinking like, this is the scaling model that they've said that is going to work. I'm looking at this now. This isn't working.
It just wasn't working.
We got to reverse course.
And there were so many different variables. And obviously to protect the interests of the people involved,
right,
there were so many different variables that came with it. And I had to do what was best for the business, which I realized that the business is what comes first. Cut all those things, had a couple million in real estate, started selling off the real estate. But I realized that we were too far gone. And for a couple months, I was fighting it, right? The conversation was like, hey, we need to put this into a restructure. I didn't want to do that.
Were you in debt or you was just, were you in debt or were you just on pace to be in debt?
We were in debt.
You were in debt?
Yeah, we were in debt.
You started liquidating.
Yeah, we started liquidating. It's funny enough, and I hope he don't get mad for me saying this, I actually sold one of my properties to Robert Smith.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. My DC property to Robert Smith. And let me tell you something. It pays to have people in your corner, right? One, who are resource qualified. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Yeah.
Because that was a pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Hey, Robert, I know everybody lean on you for everything, but I got this portfolio. I got this $10 million portfolio. Let me sell you one of my properties.
Had you had a relationship prior to that moment?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could pick up the phone and call him. He always give me advice anytime I reach out to him.
Yeah.
But to have somebody to do that for me,
yeah,
right? It pays to have people who are aligned with your vision and your mission to be able to like pull the trigger real fast when you need them to do that. That's why relationships are so very important, right? So I started selling off property, did not want to do a restructure because I'm like, we can fix this. And I'm like, I get to the point where I'm stressing myself out trying to fix this. It's compromising my quality of life.
Yeah.
You know, I'm tapping into my personal life to make sure that the business is still sustaining. Again, money coming in the business was not the problem. It's making sure that like my $100,000 a week burn can be covered. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So one day I remember waking up and I'm just like, you know what? I can't do this no more. I'm too busy worried about reputation. Right. And I'm too busy worried about what's going to happen and the opinions of other people. This is the ebb and flow of business. The biggest businesses in the world have gone through changes. Right. Like you think about the Hooters and the Red Lobsters and the Bumbles and all the big businesses that are very reputable have gone through changes. The difference between them and me and a lot of other businesses, most people don't talk about it. But I said, you know what? I'm going to use this as a coaching opportunity and as an educational opportunity to show entrepreneurs, especially startup founders, this is what happens when you do this. This is what happens when you hire too many people at one time. This is what happens when you scale a business. If you would have told me 7 years ago that I would be going through this, I'd be like, you lying. But guess what? I realize that I'm an educator, and beyond Slutty Vegan, the vessel for me is to be able to show other entrepreneurs that you can do this, but there is strategy and strategic ways to do it. So on February 13th, the company went into official restructure
This year.
of this year. So that meant for 43 days, I did not own my company.
Official, yeah, explain this official restructure. Can you just explain this?
So when a company goes to an official restructure, that means that the board resigns, I no longer own the company, and it goes into the hands of an assignee, right? And during that time, like, I have no responsibility, but obviously my name is still on it. My name is still on the door. So during that time, guess what I did? I'm still in the stores, making sure that everything is good. I'm like making sure that the store is opening.
And the public doesn't know this at all.
The public has no idea.
Right.
Who's the assignee?
It's a company.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So during that time, I'm still in the stores, making sure that the stores open up, do what they need to do, because at the end of the day, my name is the only currency that I have.
Right.
And this is with no surety that I would get my business back. I would be able to bid for my business because obviously I got a very popular company. People can bid to buy the business.
This is because that's very interesting, right? Like, you know that internally, but at the same time, I'm assuming people can now bid for the company that you built.
Sure. Yeah.
You're watching this transaction. Like, are you seeing the bids? You have like access to that, or you're just left in the
limited
blind?
access.
Wow.
Limited access. But let me tell you, when you call yourself an entrepreneur and you really love the shit that you're doing, like, you're going to do things that people are going to call you crazy for. Because everybody called me like, Pinky, like, the company went through a restructure. Why are you still in the stores? What are you doing? Why are you still like making sure that the store has what it needs and go? Because my name is on this. And I'm doing what's required. And I know that I'm not going to walk away from the thing that I built because I love it that much. So the process was it was a gruesome process, not for them, but for me, right? Because my pride and my ego got in the way. This is something that I love. And, you know, I put my blood, sweat, and tears in this business. This is all I know for the last 7 years. You know what I'm saying? But then I got really, really still. So if you notice, I went dark on social media. But I didn't go dark because I was sad and depressed. I mean, there was a little bit of that sprinkle, but I'm like, I got to go into strategy mode. I got to figure out, like, what is my next move going to be? What am I going to do? You know, as an entrepreneur and somebody who built a multi-million-dollar business. For the life of my business, I made like $70 million. This ain't no mom and pop shop. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, I got to figure it out. So I'm going in a strategy mode. I'm getting still. I'm not answering the phone for nobody. So everybody think I'm dead. What's going on with Pinky? She in the hospital? What's wrong? Because I've never been quiet. I'm a very vocal person. But I realized, God hit my spirit and said, you got to get still. You got to get really still. And I did that. And for 43 days, let me tell you, you know, I'm spiritual, y'all. So, you know, 4 + 3 is 7. That's the number of completion. So for 43 days, I went through a period of just trying to figure out, like, what does the professional life of this business, what does the legacy of Slutty Vegan look like? And the bid opened to buy the business. And there were a couple bidders. But obviously, I'm the face of this brand. Who's going to come and buy Slutty Vegan and not bring me with it? It didn't make sense. So I put the bid in for the business. And to be totally transparent, because I don't tell a lie, I had a strategic partner at first. I had a strategic partner.
So this, in between this 43 days, where are we at now? So this the 13th, right? Restructuring. We know that March 28th is a significant day.
Let me give you an even better timeline.
Yeah.
So the 13th was when the restructure happened. Then I look on the internet one day and Spelman College closes. And it wasn't me. And I'm like, damn, Spelman is closing? You know what I'm saying?
They closed. What do you mean they closed? They closed the
location.
Yeah,
they closed the
And
location.
you didn't even know about it.
I didn't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
'Cause we seen it like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I seen it too. But I also can get mad because this is the nature of business. And I think oftentimes as entrepreneurs, startup founders, and I've been guilty of it up until 2.0, we are also always so emotionally tied to business that we let our emotions get the best of us when it's just a business decision and it's nothing personal. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, I was just like, okay, all right, now I got to strategize. I got to do what I need to do. Okay, cool, boom. So I seen the news. All right, let me still get dark. Let me still get still. The bid came out maybe like, it happened pretty fast. Maybe like 18 days. It took about 18 days. Okay. The bid came out. There's a package to say, hey, Slutty Vegan is for sale. And I'm like, I can't let nobody else buy this business. It's mine. It belongs to me. My name, my likeness, my brand, the energy when you walk in a store and they call you a slut, that's my personality. Can't nobody else buy this. This is mine. And because I got something good. My sales are increasing week over week, 12%, right? So it's like, I ain't got a dud. Why would I walk away from that? I would never do that. So I put the bid in and I gave it to God and I surrendered. And, you know, that was the first time in my life that I actually met God. And I don't know if y'all understand what I mean when I said that. Like, God always knew me, but I really just met God. But it took for this experience to bring me to my knees because it made me get even more spiritual. It made me realize that you got to surrender everything, and everything that's supposed to happen is going to happen. And I can remember getting a call from the assignee saying, Pinky, got some good news. You won the bid. And there was like a sense of calmness and still that went through my body, because all of this time that I was worrying and stressing about the future and what was going to happen, it was mine all along. I just had to go through this period of pruning to be able to understand who it belongs to and who I belong to. And as a result of that, I got my business back, and I signed on March 28th at 2:53 p.m. And I signed and I got my company back. And that was the best feeling in the world, because I'm like, all right, now it's go time.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's bring it back a little bit, right? Okay, so you own 100% of Slutty Vegan when you start the company.